Boxable's mission is to revolutionize the standard of housing construction and affordability with its innovative, technology-based solution to mass-produce homes through advanced manufacturing. With me is Galliano Tiramani to explain this. You're founder of the company. So take me back to those founding days and what was the purpose and the mission behind Boxable?
Yeah, thanks for having me. So the idea here is that we want to fix housing. Housing is way too expensive all around the country, all around the world. I believe there's a 7 million housing unit shortage in this country. And so we think the only way to fix that is through factory mass production. So all the modern products like an automobile, an iPhone are all built in a factory, except houses. Houses are still built by hand, one at a time.
On location.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. The result is it's slow, it's expensive, and the situation is getting worse. Yeah. Housing is getting more and more unaffordable, and there's actually record homelessness now in the country. So the idea behind Boxable was we thought, let's figure out how to make it work in the factory. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we've been doing. And we now have our factory in Las Vegas, and we're producing houses there and shipping them out around the country.
Okay, so in all states, are you able to do this?
Right now we have, we can ship houses into about 10 states. Okay. And then we're continuing to go through the regulatory approval process. We've been producing houses now for about 2 years. We've built over 500 houses. Okay. And one cool thing that people notice about the house is that it actually folds up. So it's 20 feet wide, and then it folds up to 8.5 feet wide. And that's the key technology that's going to enable scaled mass production, because right now, houses are big, so it's very hard and very expensive to ship them. So that's why they haven't transitioned into the factory. So our first step was solve that problem, make the houses shippable at the lowest possible cost, and that will enable scaled factory mass production. And when I say scaled mass production, the goal is to do the same thing they're doing with the automobiles. So car factories like Ford or Tesla, most of them are putting out 1 car per minute out of those factories. So we need to do that with housing. All the technology exists, and we need to apply it into housing, and that's the mission of Boxable.
Yeah. Well, you're absolutely right about the housing shortage. I mean, it's almost impossible for a young person to buy a home, to come up with the down payment and then to make the payments, and the housing is just getting more expensive, so it's definitely an issue. So let's talk about the homes. How big are they? What are they made of?
Yeah, so the first product that we have is called the Casita. It's kind of a small house, so it's about 360 square feet. It's got a kitchen, bathroom, bed, couch. All of that's finished in the factory. So windows, electrical, plumbing, flooring, everything we can possibly get done in the factory, we get done in the factory, where it's high quality, low cost, and then we ship it to site. When it arrives on site, it sets up in just a few hours, and you're good to go. And that Casita is just the starting point for our building system, because what we have at Boxable is technology and a building system that we think will enable us to build many different types of buildings. So we envision having different size room modules with different configurations. Maybe you have a kitchen box, a bedroom box, and then you start sticking those boxes together and creating larger houses. And what we're doing is getting all the heavy lifting done for the developer who's doing the project, so that we can shave months and months off their cycle time. So if you're a developer who wants to build a real estate development, you're going to think, well, should I use the traditional method? Maybe it takes 2 years, or maybe I can try Boxable, and it's going to happen much faster with a higher level of quality and hopefully at a lower cost.
So that's interesting. So is that how is it like in a community, like you work with the developer and they will create this community?
Yeah, we actually have a huge list of interest for the product coming from all around the country, all around the world, and lots of different use cases. So for this first product, we actually did, our first order was from the Department of Defense, from the United States military. So we shipped 156 of those houses to a military base, ended up being Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. So that was kind of like a crazy use case as far as proving out the shipping solution that we have. Because we were in Las Vegas, and it was still feasible to produce the houses there, ship them to Florida on a truck, put them on a barge, send them to Guantanamo, and set up that project. So, really kind of went nuts on that first one to prove everything out.
To prove the concept.
Yeah.
So, and I was looking at some of the videos on your website. There's one that's very nice. I mean, you've got like a deck and outdoor area, and I mean, it looks really nice.
They're beautiful. Yeah, they're beautiful.
How much do they cost?
So the first product, which is the Casita, like I said, it's a 360 kind of like small studio apartment.
Which is a New York studio apartment.
Yeah,
exactly.
There you go. Yeah, and that's $60,000 from our factory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and it's fully like ready to go, electric and everything.
Yeah. And the vision for the company is that we would produce the lowest cost housing solution. And frankly, if we don't do that, the company's not going to succeed. The whole mission here is affordability. So we're enabling factory mass production. And when you get those principles of the standardization, the repeatability, the ability to use unskilled labor, automation, assembly line, we just believe that all those principles will push the cost down to the lowest possible cost. And that when you compare a factory process to a site build process, there's just no way they're going to be able to compete. Because imagine, you're a construction worker, you drive to sites, you go to Home Depot, you pick up some lumber, you walk around, you're doing custom work, you're hammering things in with nails, drilling holes, and compare that to an efficient assembly line where the product is moving past the workers and they're doing a repeatable task over and over. When you look at other mass production like automobiles, and what the labor cost is per automobile, it's very low. They push the labor cost down. They have bulk purchasing, the scale, the efficiency, and the speed. Because right now, no matter how much money you throw at the problem, you're not going to be able to build enough houses. They can only build so much. So the way to make it faster is to do it on an assembly line.
Yeah. Who would you say your main customers? Single people, retirees? Who are you kind of aiming or envisioning your customer would be?
So with the first product, which is the small studio apartment, we have kind of decided let's target that towards accessory dwelling units. So that means putting a small house in the backyard of the main house. That's becoming really popular in places like California, where they passed a bunch of laws to kind of legalize that. So they can take small house, put in the backyard of the main house. That's actually being about 20% of new construction starts
like a guest
has
house,
been
kind of.
ADUs for guest house. So we're thinking start there, get our foot in the door with this first product, and then later on expand to bigger communities, bigger developments. But we've done workforce housing, we've done the military base housing, we've done backyard ADUs. Hopefully we'll do a little village somewhere soon as well.
Okay. How can somebody find out more about Boxable?
Yeah, I would say, check out the website, boxable.com, check out our social media. We are basically posting everything we do live online, nonstop. We've done that since the beginning of the company. It's really paid dividends for us. And we also offer people to come for tours to the factory. So pretty much every day, all day, we have people coming in, doing tours, checking out everything we're doing so they can follow along this journey. And the journey for us is to turn on the largest, most scaled mass production of housing ever done and have a huge impact on housing affordability. So it's really all or nothing for Boxable. We have to go really big in order to solve housing.
Okay, thank you so much. Very
Thank you.
innovative approach
Thank
to
you.
the housing problem. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.